Hi guys, so my name is Phil Champagne. I'm the author of the Book of Satoshi, and today I have with me David St-Onge, who is the author of Bitcoin, Everything You Need to Know. Hello, David.
Hello, Phil.
So we're in Montreal right now in the Bitcoin conference, and so far it's going good. We just watched the Prime Minister, no, not the Prime Minister, an MP that talked about the progressive case for Bitcoin. What I found always funny for me is that do they realize that, and he mentioned, he's for social programs and all that, that all of those will drastically shrink on the Bitcoin standard.
Yeah, of course.
So what you thought overall, and you said that you might be able to speak with him, and
I would like to, because he really mentioned often that it took time for him to realize the fact that he was talking about in his speech, the fact about Bitcoin being limited compared to fiat, which is unlimited. And I think he said that it took time for him to realize that if you have social programs and have money for social program, but the inflation, because I don't think he mentioned inflation, but I think he was implying inflation because he showed a map of the monetary mass. And I think he kind of realized that if you have inflation, even if you have those social programs, he actually said that all the money go to the top, even if you try to redistribute it. So inflation, he mentioned Cantillon effect.
Yes.
So he understands that. So I would like to contact him and talk to him more about the history of money and the history of finance. Because what's really interesting in the history of finance is you understand that all those, at the end of the very last part of the finance that got invented was insurance, like health insurance by Scottish widow in Scotland in the 19th or 17th century. So basically, life insurance was invented there because the church people had to take care of the widows of the clerks of the church, and they would just give them like 1 year of salary, and they realized didn't make sense. So they set up all those mathematics to know how much they would need to put aside to give them some money for the widow and the kids to live for some time. So that's the origin of life insurance and insurance in general. So what happened after that is that the authorities and government seized that power, and the nanny states was born. And with that, you need inflation. If you want to finance nanny state, you need inflation. And what inflation kind of does, it just, with the Cantillon effect, if you're near the printer, well, you get richer. And who's near the printer? The guys at the top. So I think he's really near the realization that So as you said, if we would have a Bitcoin standard, all this free money that would support nanny state would not exist. So it implied a complete system change. So all the social nets that we have would have to be rethink in another way. I don't have the answers, but
that will be much smaller.
Exactly.
If they still are around.
Exactly.
One point that I like to point out to those progressive or anyone social is that with inflation, the real estate investors are gaining from that. And you say the dreaded word Donald Trump, and it's like, oh, hey, Hitler, he's gonna be, you're getting a mortgage that deflates, the values over time. So you're actually getting an artificial gain that if you were actually on a Bitcoin standard and gold standard, at least the value of that loan will still be as difficult to pay in the future. They would not be
inflated away.
Yeah, that's right. No, they're getting this as free, and then the renters, their rent increasing. And then the funny thing is, rent control didn't exist before Nixon shock. In 1971, we go off the gold standard. Now the rents are going up, everything going up, And then they're bitching on those damn
Speculators
and speculators for raising the rents. Where just again, it's the government created problem and blame somebody else.
Exactly. So yeah, so people are actually using houses and real estate as money, as a store of value. If people would not need to be using real estate as a store of value, the price would not be that high. So smart money just go to the place where it keeps its value, a store of value. So if money would be, if fiat money would be a great store of value, we wouldn't need to invest that much in real estate to protect your value. So that's one of the reasons that real estate is so high, is because smart people are putting their money there instead of just having their money in the bank and keeping it value. So a big part of the housing crisis is because we don't have a great store of value, and that great store of value could just be money. And you would invest in some real estate or some project to make more money, not just to maintain your value. That's a big difference. That's the difference. You will say, well, people will still invest in real estate, of course, but they would invest to make more real estate, and make more profit, not just protect their value. So basically they're using houses as money. That's stupid, because houses are made for people to be living in them, not to be used as a store of value. That's really what fiat brings.
Yeah, it distorts a bunch of things. Another point that I like to bring up too is before 1971, people in the private sector, they had defined benefits. They work at IBM or and so on, many of the companies, and they will be getting a pension funds from the company itself. And it was easy for mathematicians working on statistics behind that to prove, okay, how much will they live and will it need for those people in 30 years to live on? Well, the same amount as today. If it was $30,000 back then, they'll say, oh, in 30 years, it'll be still $30,000. But today, it's just anyone's guess.
Yeah, who knows?
What will it be in 30 years from now? How much what will be the salary? $1 million a year, to replace this? Or nobody knows, because we actually have no clue.
And to go further on that, I recently heard on the radio some person who had a solution for the housing crisis, and it had to do with pensions. Okay, she said the problem with the housing market is because people need to invest for their retirement. Okay, where are you going with that? She said, well, if everybody would have a full pension from the government, people would not have to invest in housing, real estate, and drive up the price. I was thinking, well, where does she think that the gain in pension plans come from? It comes from the market, from the investment. All she was saying that the government should take care of the pension because it will solve the problem of the housing market. I was like, no, just solve inflation, and people would not have to invest there. So it seems like everyone is thinking the problem in reverse. It's really weird.
It distorts. But there is an additional agreement I have with that is that I don't have any problem with people investing in houses or multifamily and so on.
There's no problem with that.
Because actually a lot of people, mostly those who starts in life, they need a place to rent. The only problem why you see distortions in rents and so on is, first of all, fiat currencies, but the other thing is also the piles of regulations and sometimes rent control. When you start to impose rent control, then investors are, there's no point for me to invest in this particular town or state because I'm not going to be able to make my money, because if the renters stay there for 10 years, in 10 years, I'm not going to get any rents that make sense for whatever.
That's what happened in Quebec. We have that here.
Yeah. And San Francisco, part of San Francisco, it's just horrible distortion that is happening there. So it is something that we have to hand up to that long list of problems that most of the time the roots cause is the government.
And inflation caused by the government. And just to to be clear about that, there's absolutely no problem of people investing in real estate. It's a great investment, but it's the reason underlying it. If people are investing in real estate just to protect their money, it put too much money in that part of the economy for nothing. If people who want to invest and create more of it, it would make sense. But if everybody is investing in real estate just to protect their value, so the lady was.
But also the interest rates that are lower are also pushed.
Yeah, exactly. You have to put your money somewhere that you're. Yeah. So basically, some people think that if we would stop speculation, everything will be fine. But what's funny there is that pensions are driven by speculation first, and the second thing is that what drives speculation is the need for people to beat inflation.
Yes.
So if we don't have inflation,
definitely worse.
Exactly. So
you'll still have speculation in a gold standard or Bitcoin standard.
Yeah, of course.
But it will be much more reduced because the need for fighting inflation will not be there.
Speculation is only like trying to predict the future. Like you make a bet on future value of things. So we can't remove that from the equation. It's just normal. But and actually, you talked about Nixon in 1971. He did actually blame the speculator for the problem.
No, we have that on tape.
He said that on TV, like those damn speculators.
Yeah.
For a problem he caused himself.
And he's a Republican. It just shows you. It just shows. It doesn't matter from different.
Exactly. That's what actually Joel said precisely.
Yeah,
he said it's just a political show of both sides. They do
Joel is the MP, the Liberal MP that just had to talk today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great talk.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
So you had to sit in front of a progressive speaking about Bitcoin. So that was a big thing.
Yeah. It's always funny to see this going on. It's ability. All right, so I think we can wrap it up. And well, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Phil. Always nice to meet you and your wife.